I wanted to be the droplet, then the towel, then the hand removing the towel. Winter air must have stabbed my eyes, why else was saliva leaking down my chin? Next shower hit me with video call, I demanded, wiping my mouth. Voice note popped, deep velvet voice, deal. Now queue up, I'll carry you. We met in a random ranked lobby. I was mid-lane fan dancing against Zhuge Liang while our shooter spammed. Our jungler's a beast, I typed, confused, where's the cow? The 5-kill Leon replied. Embarrassed, I apologized, we still won, friend request arrived, we exchanged WhatsApp handles. Skirmish after skirmish watered the seed, 6 months later he confessed, I channeled Xiao Qiao. Charge heart first, when he asked my name my thumb hovered over Lily, then common sense kicked. In Hellas, I typed, I'm Emery. Nice to meet you, Emery. I'm Julian. And that's how we became a level in-game couple badge power pair. Lately he learned we both live in Riverdale and begged for a face-to-face. I was floating on his Dongfeng Yao as Yao, hijacking his cooldowns when he pleaded again, babe. Same city, when do I finally hold you? Puppy eyes translated perfectly through voice chat. I'd stalled because every how to survive your e-date thread screamed guard your face. Guard your life. So we never traded photos and every video call got declined. He'd sulked. Then accepted. Then weaponized ob selfies as revenge. He was almost off the hook, but then I remembered the app scam selfie floating around online to keep my head straight. I drop squatted 20 times until the thirst subsided. Babe, I know you're desperate, but she'll wait for my memo. I stalled. All right, I'll wait for Bobby's green light. I'm on standby 24/7. He sounded deflated yet still willing to play by my rules. Lately I've been thinking it's time we meet IRL. After months of dating, he's given me premium emotional support. He lets me play Little Impress. He files a report on every microscopic detail. 3 meals a day. Sunset pics fresh off his phone. Fall arrived. So he filled a tote with ginkgo leaves and handcrafted a bouquet, promising me autumn romance. He's 3 grades above me. A Riverdale University senior, same school as brother. I'm only a freshman at Riverdale Tech. He volunteered to be my private tutor, running late-night study calls. And thanks to him, I pulled a perfect 4.0 in Calc. I figure the semester opener next year is perfect for a surprise visit. Pop over to Riverdale U. Hug my guy, crash brother's meal plan, and see if the dining hall hype is real. I'm keeping the plan on lock for maximum ambush. Game over, he typed, babe, cousin's here. Gotta pick her up at the gate. We'll duo again tonight. Go smooch first, Mua, I begged. I pressed my ear to the speaker. A crisp pop came through. Worried I'd missed it. He rapid-fired 3 more bubbly kisses. I know he was probably pecking his hand or the screen. But my brain still painted the image of our lips locking. I shook the thought away, heart racing, and hurried him off. Post-shower, my takeout arrived. I was queuing up my favorite binge watch when a black-eyed creature loomed in the dim glow. Only the counter light was on for ambience. I didn't realize the bruised apparition was brother, battle damage edition. I yelped, backpedaled, whipped a throw pillow at him and screamed, ghost. Mom, save me. Lights blazed on with a snap blinding, rubbing my eyes. I squinted up at the guy. Once our gazes locked, I recognized the panda-eyed man. Bro, did you get lured into some side chick drama and catch these hands? The words shot out before I could stop them. Damn last night's trashy novel. My mind wanted to devolve into a screeching monkey, predictably. Brother flicked my forehead with a knuckle rap. What's rotting in that skull? Go wash your hair. Maybe a brain will sprout. I nursed the lump, guilt-ridden. What happened? Weren't you on a date with Jasmine? Why the zombie cosplay? Brother scowled, freaking Julian him again. Humiliated me in front of Jasmine. Walked up while I was hugging her and clocked me twice. Chased me the whole way West End to East End. Guy must envy my robotics championship trophy and the fact I've got a girlfriend. I listened until the timeline clicked. What? He punched you in public? Did you swing back, Blake? Should we call the cops? I fumed, cheeks puffed. Of course I hit him back. Skip 911. This was mutual combat. I'm heading to urgent care. Stay put. I'll settle it once I heal. He grabbed his wallet, still shading his eye, and left. Late night, I tossed in bed, replaying scenes, Blake taking the blame when we were kids. Spoon-feeding me when mom traveled, Venmoing me fat allowances. I sat bolt upright. My brother. My bank. This grudge is mine to settle. Ellis. I crept to the living room and unplugged his charging phone. No passcode. Slick unlock. I scrolled contacts until Julian's spawn popped up, memorized the digits. A rustle from his room sent me sprinting back. I'd barely flopped onto my mattress when online texted, "Sorry babe. Just left there, can't duo tonight. Some rabid dog bit me." I slipped trying to help. "Let's postpone our meetup till my face is magazine ready," I clutched. My phone, frantic. "Okay baby, does it hurt? Let me blow on it. Go lie down." I added a kitten hugs puppy sticker. He replied instantly, "Hurt like hell till Bobby's magic breath. Now I'm cured," plus a floppy puppy gif. "Can we fall asleep on voice tonight? Wanna hear you breathe?" Yes, he rang. I answered, "Night, babe, sweet dreams." That low, velvet voice ricocheted through me. I buried my face in Mr. Bear and whispered, "Night, baby." Voice squeaky. His steady breathing lulled me to sleep. Next morning, rustling over the speaker woke me. Hearing me stir, he murmured, husky with sleep. Maybe a hint of panting, "Babe, you up?" Morning. It sounded indecent, like post-midnight. Post something else, gravel. The memory of the soft rustling I just heard and those few quick breaths made my face explode into flames. Who knew he'd start his handicrafts at dawn? Morning. Gotta run. Bye. I jabbed the end call button and fled before he could answer. The apartment was silent. His door stood wide open and he was nowhere in sight, probably out.
Remembering last night's vow, I pulled out my phone and texted the number I'd saved. "I'm his sister, you petty emo freak. Who said he could pound on brother? 12 sharp. Sweet on Central, afraid to show?" Asterisk, I was actually terrified. So I'd pick the busiest plaza in town. Today I would get justice for brother and make Julian apologize. The moment I pictured the black eye Julian had given him, the guy stopped being handsome in my book. Brother's labels fit: petty, pretentious, and totally French. While I stewed, my screen lit up. Okay. "See you there." Armed with his yes, I sprinted through a shower, breakfast, and a quick dumbbell session, gearing up for battle. To keep my escape options open, I ditched the puffy down coat and zipped on a ginger yellow shell instead. Intent on seizing the high ground, I reached Central at 11 on the dot. I studied the foot traffic and mapped the fastest getaway routes. Winter sun was out, pouring honey-warm light over the plaza. A cypress grew beside Sweet's window, its needles still emerald in December. By that window sat a guy in a black shell that looked like the twin of mine. Sunlight filtered through the cypress and glazed his dark hair with gold. His hair was perfectly styled. He definitely dressed to impress. He kept swiping his phone, glancing up every other second, clearly waiting for someone. He looked familiar, so I inched closer when his profile snapped into focus. It overlapped with Julian's selfie on my screen. Up close, he was taller than brother. A black mask hid most of his face, as if he were trying to disappear. I hadn't expected him this early. We still had a full hour. Was he scouting the terrain too? Guilt and stage fright hit. I started to retreat. My hip bumped a patio table clatter. Window seat guy shut up, eyes locking on me like I might bolt. The stare down erased my fear. "You can do this." Lily. Make him say sorry to him. I pushed into Sweet and marched straight over. Seeing me enter, he exhaled and sat back down, yet his gaze tracked every step. I nearly tripped over my own feet under that laser focus. At his table, I planted myself and let out a long breath. Same jacket, different color definitely. Before I could speak, he beat me to it. "Lily, hey, I'm Julian." He motioned to the empty chair. The mask muffled his voice, which still sounded oddly familiar, but I had a mission. I dropped into the seat and came out swinging. "Who said you could deck brother out of nowhere? Look at his eye, you'd better apologize." The image of his shiner made me volume up on instinct. He looked even more rattled than me, voice wobbling. "Lily, please. It's a huge misunderstanding, just let me explain." He yanked the mask off in frustration. I almost burst out laughing. Both cheeks were puffed like marshmallows. No cheekbones in sight, more bee-stung pug than campus heartthrob. He saw my twitching lips and his swollen face went scarlet, 2 ripe apples grafted on. He fumbled to remask, caught me staring, then gave up with a hopeless shrug. Recalling brother had fought back, I asked softer, Did Blake do that to your face?" All my steam evaporated. Julian's voice was gentle. Everything happened so fast. He was defending himself. I'll apologize, sorry for hurting him. I felt like I'd punched cotton. And why was his lifelong arch-nemesis calling him Blake in that tender tone? He continued, almost whispering. I saw Blake grabbing my cousin from behind. And she was struggling. I thought he was assaulting her. I didn't know they're dating. He couldn't meet my eyes. His fingers drummed the table, lips pressed tight. Time froze. The air around us solidified. I prayed for an asteroid to vaporize the moment. My rehearsed cross-examination fizzled. Desperate, I threw out the universal accusation. Even if we ignore the facts, step back 10,000 steps, are you really blameless? I was wrong, don't be mad. Instant surrender, no fight at all. My brain short-circuited. He'd called his arch-nemesis Blake and folded in record time. After years of rivalry, maybe it had all been a play for attention. He's in love with him. The enemies to lovers reel rolled in my head. Julian schemes to provoke Blake, fails to win his heart, spirals into Yander obsession. I was positive my deduction was flawless, straight-up soap opera material. What kind of twisted plot is this? Falling for my cousin's boyfriend? No, I have to hurry home and tell brother. Don't you dare go after brother. Too frantic to parse Julian's stunned, open-mouthed expression, I spun toward the exit. To my horror, Julian chased me all the way to the door, shouting Lily. Dear Lord, the sky was caving in. He even tried to grab me. Fingertips brushing the hem of my jacket, thank goodness I was faster. Back home, my heart was still hammering. Before I could catch my breath, I spotted brother in the living room and latched onto his arm. Bro, Julian likes you. Brother swiveled toward the kitchen, scooped a handful of rice, and flung it at me like holy water. Whoever you are, get out of my sister right now. He chanted between tosses, Begone, begone, begone. Ignoring the impromptu exorcism, I shook his shoulders. It's true, bro. I spilled every bizarre detail of the afternoon. What you actually went to pick a fight with Julian alone. Lily, are you asking for a spanking? What if something had happened? We were on totally different wavelengths. Hold the lecture. Based on my analysis, Julian really likes you. Brother rolled his eyes and stomped into my study. He yanked my stash of mental sustenance off the shelf. Your top priority is staying away from these romance novels. He whipped out his phone, scrolled to Julian's official couple post on Instagram. He has a girlfriend. He went public ages ago. Total misunderstanding. Your girlfriend is his cousin. Jasmine and I were just messing around. He saw it, thought I was a creep, and Jasmine already smoothed it over. I'm confiscating your books and you stay away from that dog Julian. He's bad news. Still weird that he actually called me Blake. I'm gonna go hash it out with Jasmine. He ruffled my hair, tucked my paperbacks under his arm, and left. I stood petrified. I'd seen the post, exactly the screenshot I'd begged Julian to share. Level 46 in-game couple badge, IDs, Buffalo's Princess and Princess's Buffalo. Mother, grandma, shoes, coat, those were the nicknames Julian and I used. My brain shifted into overdrive. Keyword cousin plus the matching couple parkas Julian was wearing. So Julian equals Julian? Ah, fate, why torture me? I'd fallen for brother's arch-nemesis and daydreamed the two of them were a couple. Just as I was spiraling, my phone pinged. Julian. Babe, good afternoon. What are you up to today? Time to fish. Did he know Emery was Lily? Met someone today, total clown, scared me. Baby, please don't look like that. Let's meet tomorrow. He answered instantly, panicked. That ugly? If I look like that, you'll dump me? Thing is, I'm tied up. Could we push the meetup? So he knew. The parka stunt, the mask, he'd staged it all to watch me make a fool of myself. I felt like a puppet with its strings yanked taut. Blood roaring in my ears, I typed, whatever your name is, we're done. Brother forbids me to date guys bitten by dogs. The second I hit send, I regretted it, but I doubled down, blocked him. Then logged into the game and filed a couple divorce request. So much for love, it was just a punchline. By 8-pack apes. I poked the post-shower thirst trap on my lock screen inside. Man, I used to eat well. I almost deleted it but couldn't pull the trigger. Look all you want, I'd earned the eye candy. I flopped on the bed, stared at the darkening sky. Cold air poured through the open window, freezing. Morning sunshine had been a lie winter bites. I felt like the old geezer taunted by village kids' heartbreak, probably. Suddenly, Riverdale felt suffocating. I needed Frosthaven right now. After briefing Blake and Mom, I boarded a solo flight. Julian's friend request popped up again. The game rejection came back denied. I ignored both first solo trip ever. Blizzard Wonderland was the right call. Snowflakes you could study like tiny crystal sculptures, frosting every branch. Skiing, mega ice slide, snowdrifting, dopamine pumping, I smiled for the first time in days. I replayed Julian and me in my head. Love is for the brave. Only the stubborn reach the finish. Even as an online thing, we clicked. Blocking him on impulse had been childish. I'd talk when I got back, stay or quit, but face to face. After 18 food stops and one day, I flew home. Withdrawal hit before we even left Frosthaven tarmac. I rang the bell and Julian opened the door. For a second, I feared I got the wrong house. Then brother's voice rang from the kitchen. Miss Vance is home. Your big brother's cooking. Lucky you. Julian's face stayed neutral, but his fists clenched, thumbs kneading the air. The next second, he reached for my suitcase. Riley, I whispered. He only gave me a tiny nod, his face still swollen but much better than before. The second I stepped inside, I realized the kitchen held more than just Blake. A girl was in there too. He caught me hovering in the doorway and hurried to introduce us. This is your sister-in-law, just call her Jasmine. My sister-in-law had a gentle aura. A cream-colored keep-out skimming her figure, understated and sweet. He had struck gold landing such a gorgeous girlfriend. Hi, Jasmine, I'm Lily. You're stunning. Alex, you're pretty and adorable. She rewarded me with a soft smile. Mom's still on her trip. Go wash up, dinner's ready, Morgan, Blake boomed.
I spun toward the sink, only to find Julian's eyes locked on me. At the table, Blake insisted on cuddling next to his girl, so I was parked beside Julian. From their chatter, I gathered he had invited Jasmine over. Julian had begged to tag along, making her plead his case until he'd sweet-talked Blake with repeated Blake-s and scored an invite. Mid-story, Julian's knee nudged mine, then pressed flush against my thigh. Heat flared, I shifted away, but he chased the contact. Afraid of causing a scene, I froze, then decided revenge was sweeter and slung my right leg over his left. His body stiffened, mission accomplished, so I started to retreat. Before I could, he snaked his right leg over my left, trapping me, and my ears burned crimson. He noticed. Lily, hot? Why are your ears scarlet? Nice, he's just cranked to high, I mumbled, shooting Julian a glare that only made his grin wider. Dinner finally ended and Julian released his leg lock. I headed to my room to freshen up before talking, but the door pushed back, Julian slipping in after me. Let go, I hissed, shoving. He captured my hand and guided it under his shirt. Hard, my first thought, my fingers grazing rigid abs, stopped liking it. I sneaked another feel, like it? He murmured, it's okay, I said, pushing again, babe, don't shove me, listen. He was so close, his warm breath fanned my face. Each exhale audible, fine, back off and we'll sit, he obeyed. I perched on the bed. He took the chair beside it. Babe, I only realized you were Lily when the number that texted me matched the one on your message. Profiled, I'd memorized it. I couldn't believe he'd stored my digits. I didn't mean to lie. But with my face like this, I figured you'd think I'm gross. My room's heat was off. His nose was pink, cheeks puffy, utterly pitiful. Then why claim you're Julian? I met his eyes. You told me you were Emery. I saw your Insta post online 101. It said girls should pick a fake surname plus Yife for safety. I wanted us to have a couple handle and guys named Julian are always hot, so I borrowed it. Damn my oversharing though, I'd sworn I'd hidden that post. I checked, somehow I'd said it to only him. You still can't just hey, he scooped me off the bed onto his lap. Babe, let's talk closer. So warm, I curled toward the heat, winding my arms around his neck, straddling him. That day I wore our matching couple parka, and you showed up in the same set. I thought you knew who I was, but your reaction said otherwise. My face was wrecked, I almost confessed, but you bolted and I couldn't catch you. When I got home you'd already blocked me, no way through. He tucked his head into my neck. Tears soaked my skin. Don't cry, baby. I messed up too. I was dramatic. I stroked his hair. So we're back together. He nuzzled me, kinda, I teased. Kinda, you're myth stubborn, let me kiss it soft. He captured my lips, breath turning ragged. Lily, have you seen the sterling mutt? He vanished while Jasmine and I did dishes. Before I could shove Julian away, Blake stood in the doorway. I buried my flaming face in Julian's chest. Bro-in-law. Maybe turn a blind eye to Lily and me, Julian said. His face went volcanic, black eye throbbing, and he lunged. Damn it, I take my eyes off you for a minute and you raid my base die. Fearing real violence, I shielded Julian. He laughed in outrage. Agony, betrayal. Jasmine witnessed their ganging up on me. He sprinted off for her sympathy. Why do you and brother keep sparring? I asked Julian. That's one-sided from bro-in-law. Don't worry, babe, I'll yield from now on. He tilted my face, pulled me in. Hand sliding to cradle my head, and kissed me again, tugging my lower lip. Babe, open up, let me in. Thanks for listening to today's story. Rate it 1 to 10 if you like. Hit like, share with friends, drop your thoughts below, and subscribe for more. See you next time.